So hey, it's great to have you on live, and like I told the listeners, hey, it's social distancing,
Right, at its best too.
well, considering you're from Montreal, Canada,
Yeah,
and I'm from Pennsylvania, it's
this
not
is
hard to
it's
do that.
exactly. And what a great time to have the internet to do that too. It's like everything was building up to this moment.
It sure was, and thank you for all the hard work and preparation you put into this. It's great to have a band that puts so much great time and effort into building the audience to help your listeners, your fans, get acquainted with your band on a spectrum that they're not used to. They're used to coming seeing you play live. They get a few minutes to talk to the bands, at the merch
Yeah,
stands, things like that. So it's great to have your true appreciation for the whole music scene.
yeah, it goes further than just doing the shows and everything and making the music. I mean, we have to we especially in these times with COVID, you have to just bring up your presence that much more on social media to, fill the void. And that's what we it even got us like they made us be able to connect even better with the fans. I feel like in these last months because it was like the timing was right and everything was it was geared towards that. It's like fate.
Yeah, it becomes very intimate, because now you have no other way to connect with band or
Right.
fans,
Exactly.
except for social media outlets and things like that.
Yeah, and you it's kind of like it was hard at first because you're like you said you're used to seeing people at shows and it's that physical that physical presence where it's easy to respond, and when you're there behind a screen and you're talking to people and it's kind of like, hey, what's up, I'm a really like not agitated person, but I'm very like, people see me, I'm dynamic, so behind the screen it's kind of like, hi. It's not nowhere represented. So it was really working on that presence as well too, to be like, okay, well, this is also my presence, or like the other boys too, their presence behind the screen, and just kind of bringing it to the internet, bringing it to our social media as well too, to kind of keep it strong and going.
That covers one aspect of something I was going to bring up, and I was going to ask, but knowing that I talked to you, but a lot of the listeners don't know, how were you guys coping with the whole COVID, not being able to go out and play, things like that? And it's an odd question because this is something that is very untypical to be asking a band right now.
Right,
But
exactly. It's yeah, it's now a standard, right? It's in the same boat, but everyone also has their ways of dealing with it. For us, we just doubled down on social media. We're like, we're not gonna let the momentum die or anything like that. It was like we're gonna go like just keep on going ahead and just like head first. Be like, okay, well, let's be ourselves right here on our phones or right here on our Instagrams and our Facebooks and stuff like that. So yeah, for us, it was just like, okay, no time to waste. Here we go. Instagram, boom, what's up, everybody? Do like, videos and lives and teasers and posts every day and stories and reach out to people and say, hey, have you heard our new song? No? Why don't you, give it a listen? Hey, by the way, it's Chris, like it's stuff like that. Just get like being it like if it's live, but it's the digital age of being, like you said, like creating that bond with people through the computer screen or through the cell phone.
I honestly believe that is just absolutely wonderful because of the fact that you know, so many band members rely on their promoters, they rely on management to do all that for them, and for you to just be, all right, pedal to the metal right now, we need to literally put this grind down and let the fans know we aren't going anywhere. We are still going to be here to rock your asses off later when everything opens back up and we are able to get out there and play, and to push and to grind, when you're working. We were gonna have your bassist on with you tonight, but he's unfortunately at work. Maybe he'll
Yeah, he's
chime
he's
in.
still
Maybe
grinding.
he's still grinding it. Like
He's still grinding.
I haven't missed a beat during this whole COVID thing. I worked through the whole thing. I think I might have had 2.5 weeks off, but I've been at the grind, so I get it and I understand. But that's one thing that I had, the outlet right here, the radio show, to be able to
Exactly.
help these bands give everybody and let them know that these bands are out here working really hard. They're not making money right now unless you buy their merch, you know, and we're going to talk about all your merch in a little while. You know, I gave you a 45-minute platform, so I got
I
you on
actually
air for a while.
to
So hopefully you have
to
plenty to talk about.
say what you to add what you were saying about the fans, like what was really great is that the fans I feel like came through harder to be a band, and it still is, where the fans are just, they were there and they were like super supportive, and it was like, hey, I hope you're doing well, and like, how much is a T-shirt? How much is a hat? How much is this? Oh, you're doing this. I will be there live, like for your viewing party or this or that. Like people just, I mean, pure fact that they love the band, they also felt like, hey, let's do our part, as small as it is a like, a share, a comment, or doing a story, making a mention, and yeah, like just I felt the love for the from the fans like so hard in the last couple of months, so much more than they always do, but the last couple of months, wow, the love was tremendous, and we just want to take this time to say, like, the band, like, thank you so much. You guys really, 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 like, we're blessed. We have, like, I know, like, a lot of bands say this, but I really mean it. Screw all the other bands. We have the best fans in the world. Point and final. Point in case.
That's that's beautiful because, you know, just to have all them fan members out there, you know, still supporting you 100%, you know, everybody's down on their times, you know, financially, everything. But for bands to still be able to buy one of your hats, buy one of your T-shirts, you know, things like that, and
It's
just
incredible. Yeah, it's
it's
just such a
phenomenal,
show.
actually.
Yeah, just a simple show of, like, wow, like you're really, yeah, I realize sometimes, like, people are putting themselves out there, to buy a hat or a T-shirt for us, and it's like, geez, thank you so much, like, we're so grateful about it, for it, it's like, okay, wow, like I said, like, they just doubled down, we doubled down on our hustle, and they doubled down on the love, and we're just, yeah, it's been really, really, it's been a time, but it's been like, what? Lots of great positive things coming out of this. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable.
But one thing I could tell you is that, you know, I look at your numbers on Facebook, and, you know, it's a numbers game. Everything in this business is a numbers game. Do you agree?
I have to agree. I'm paid to
Okay,
say I
okay.
agree.
But your numbers on Facebook actually
Yeah,
kind of blow me away for how great of a band you are. And you're, you know, your when I say your band, I'm talking about you as plural. Your band, you
yeah.
know, your band is phenomenal. And when I look at your numbers, I'm like, I got to help this band. We got to get this band, you know, we got to get them growing. Now I know you're really big on Instagram. Um, I've started using Instagram a little bit more. I have so many different social media pages,
It's
just like you
crazy.
do. But
Yeah, the
you,
management, it becomes insane.
yep. And but you find certain niches where, all right, well, we get more interest from Instagram versus Facebook, you
Right.
know, and you kind of cater to a certain outlook, you know. And my goal tonight is to get the fans to know you a little bit better, to know your band a lot better, and to help build your exposure. So, you know, it's just great to have you on there, my friend.
And it's, what, it's a pleasure to be here tonight for all of this, for you to share your platform with us, to do exactly what you just said, to help us also grow and reach more people that would be interested in Adam's Ashes and will discover us tonight, now on air with you.
And then thank you very much. I do truly appreciate that. I appreciate, you know, you're out there sharing posts and sharing things. And when bands can help me, gives me more opportunity to help them. So, you know, it's a big circle. It really is. We're all in this together, you know,
It's
and
an
I'm
indie
not talking
community.
about, yeah, it is. You know, I do this pro bono, you know, all my equipment, everything. I've paid for all this. I've broadcast live on one of the, in my mind, the best internet rock stations in the world right here on Rock Rage Radio. Our platform is huge. Hopefully, all the listeners absolutely love what they hear tonight. And, you know, it's a
It,
circle, it's a family. It really
ex-
is. It's a family.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, it's like I like to call it the indie community. You know, it's you do one thing and it costs me nothing to do like another thing, and each and every person doing their part by doing the shares, the likings, the mentions, the stories, the this, the that. It costs nothing. You know, when you're a band, like we'll give shout outs to bands. I remember at one point we did this thing where we would do follow Friday. It wasn't follow Friday. Was it follow Friday? Yeah, it was like follow Friday or mention Friday on Instagram. And we would listen to these indie bands like that we discovered during the week, and we'd say, "Hey, everyone, go check out these guys. They're super cool. Go check them out." Like they don't know us personally, and we don't know them personally, but we heard their music and said, "Hey, it's worth a mention. It's worth a share." And that's exactly what you're doing with us right now. So it's kind of like just keep it going, keep it flowing, keep it going. Help the next guy, and that's it. No one's more special than another. Like in this whole thing, it's all about helping one another. It's an indie community.
I've taken notice that during this whole COVID thing going on where you can't go out and play, how many bands have been supporting other bands throughout this whole time. And you're talking from one end of the United States, that like the East Coast, they're supporting bands from the West Coast or the Midwest, and you're
Yeah,
not from the States, but you understand what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
just amazing the way they're all supporting each other, and I'm like, why didn't this happen before?
It just took some
But
crazy events. Yeah,
it did. But before we get too far away from where we started this off at,
yeah,
the song Heartless,
yeah.
Caleb absolutely, he loves that song. You want to ask him a question about that song?
Nice.
Caleb,
Not
hit me, boy.
these. These are from Instagram. You can't ask any of these. These are four. We do have some questions from some of the
From our Ashers.
fans
Yeah,
I'm guessing they were all on Instagram, correct?
that's right. That's right.
So hopefully they're tuned in, because I'm gonna give their tags, and I'm gonna ask the questions, and it's a great Q&A. But I think Caleb wanted to ask you a question.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Caleb.
The song Heartless.
Yeah.
Just wondering where inspiration came from that one there.
Absolute devastating heartbreak.
I figured it was something along the lines,
Oh
but
yeah.
I didn't know if it was an unrelated issue for one person or if y'all came together collectively for it.
Lyrically, it mostly up with like the bulk of everything that's going on, and then maybe the guys will chime in for maybe like some tuning on like how phrasing should be done, but like the ideas and the main lines definitely come from me. Heartless was 100% my own heartbreak. um, yeah, it was a devastating situation in my life, and literally woke up from it one morning, and I kid you not, I must have written the song in 5 minutes, and then about 10 minutes later, I was like calling the producers, like, I have a sick song that I just wrote. I'm gonna send you the lyrics and a bit of like the instrumental that I put together, and we need to do this now. And then it was just boom. It happened so instantaneously. It was like it was raw emotion translated to music, like with no like interim. Like it was just one thing. And that's where the power really came from. There was no months in between from anything. It was literally from one week to the next. And I think that's what really made the song to this day. Like people are like, man, that song comes and really hits you right in the feels. It's like, yeah, because it was right in the feels when when I was belting it out in the studio, you know.
Came right
So,
from the heart.
oh yeah, definitely from the heart.
Hey, can't go wrong there, my friend.
Thanks for the
Like you
question,
said though,
Caleb.
you can definitely feel it
Oh yeah,
throughout the song that it's coming from something deep down inside there, you know.
oh yeah. There was some true I want to say hateful passion.
It's a great song though, my friend.
Thanks, man.
Hopefully the listeners enjoyed it. Did we have somebody chime in here? I thought I heard somebody in the background. I thought maybe AJ would pop in there for a second or something with the question. But anyway, let's talk about the next song that we are going to be moving on to from the
Yeah,
band. Actually, do me a favor real quick. You want to
sure.
introduce your band to everybody out there?
Absolutely. You're talking about every member and everything and what we do and where we're from.
How about at least introduce your band members?
All right. Well, they're not here with me tonight, but they are here in spirit. There's Sean Oliver on bass. Um, he's my boy. They're all my boys, but me and Sean we go way back. And there's also Reg. He's AKA Reg. His name is Pierre Luc, but we call him Reg, AKA Rage. He is the man pounding it down on the drums in the background, giving us those heavy rock anthem like totally smashing drum beats. So yeah, Pierre Luc, Rage, Reg, earlier on drums. And right now, that's what consists of ATA. Myself, Chris Starr, singer, guitarist. We are the core of ATA. This is the family of ATA. This is the core that makes everything happen and everything possible.
Very nice. Now the listeners know who all was involved with Atoms to Ashes. So anyway, let's move on to the next song we're gonna play, because I got 4 songs plus we are gonna give like a little sneak peek, correct?
Yeah, I'm so excited about that.
We'll get to that. All you got to do is say, "Hey, Nip, why don't we do the sneak peek quick?" And we will quickly air it. But right now, I have loaded the next song, "Blown Away." Fill us in, man.
Yes, Blown Away's my favorite actually. It's um it's it was a song that also came very quickly together, and I find that those were the best songs that came from in the Atoms to Ashes library. The songs that came without hesitation, where it's kind of like just everything flowed together so nicely, and it's my personal favorite, right up there with Heartless. Um, I was really when I was writing, well, again, lyrically writing the song, um, I was just feeling a lot with the music, that early 2000s vibe, that like those like new metal bands like POD, Limp Bizkit, like Papa Roach, Mudvayne, all those. It's like Linkin Park actually is the main inspiration for this one, and
Nice.
I was like, dude, let's just do like this super like 2000s. We were 15, 16 years old skateboarding song, and we were blown away by the idea, and it was like, oh hey, there's the title to it too. So it just really everything just flowed so naturally, and yeah, it was also the message came out as something way different than we usually what I usually delve into. I was really going into another direction, and I wanted to keep it simple, but have really the anthemy things going together, and everything just fell in together like a perfect like little puzzle, and there you have it, Blown Away. It was a masterpiece that was literally done in 15 minutes.
Well, there you go, listeners. There is the intro to the song "Blown Away."
That's how all the great ones come about.
That's exactly right. 15 minutes, man. Bang. In the track. Here you go, listeners. Hopefully everybody's enjoying talking with Chris Starr from Atoms to Ashes. This
Yeah.
is their song, "Blown Away." You're tuned in to No Nonsense with NipNyce right here on Rock Rage Radio. What do they do, Caleb?
Turn that shit up.
Yep.
Yeah, right there was a song, "Blown Away" from Atoms to Ashes. What, Chris? How's it going?
It's going great, man. It's going great.
And it's doing this again. I don't know why it's doing.
Jamie, you there? So what up, Rock Rage Radio rockers? I feel alone here in this interview. That's okay. I'm gonna take over for Nip for a second. You're at the Chris Star show. Nip, how's it going, bud?
We have technical difficulties. That's
Yeah, it's all
part
part
of
of the game.
it's part of the game. So anyway,
I caught a bit of Caleb's what he was saying, and I thought that was really cool. Like everything that he was mentioning, as I was trying to figure out on my end what was going on here. But yeah, let's take some more questions. Let's take some more comments and things going on. Let's keep this train going.
Yeah, how about we hit some of the questions from some of your fans over on Instagram? You all right with that?
Absolutely.
All right, so this first question was from, and this is, do you call it a handle? You call it their name, their ID on Instagram? I'm not even sure what you call it, but
I think it's their username.
it's their username. So this is from a Rawl E Base '09.
Yeah.
Ask the question, how did you come up with the name of your band?
Okay, so this one is is one we get pretty often. Um, and I like to take two ways from it. I like to take a story approach from the band, science approach from the band, and a mythological approach. Gonna make it real quick, real simple. Um, Science approach, atoms make up everything, so when you put them all together, they become something else. Mythological approach, um, I really like enjoy the phoenix, and the phoenix always rises from the ashes. So something old comes out, like is done, and then something new rises from those ashes. And then if I transpose that into how the name came along for the band, the story is real simple. The initial band formation, we were all from these bands that just had broken and fallen after living such cool events, and we were all just like kind of strays, and we all joined together. We were all like as singular. We were all like these just like these individuals, but when we came together, we made this awesome sound called, which would be called, Atoms to Ashes. So each person was like their atom, bringing it together to make the ashes which we rose from, to make this new formation called Atoms to Ashes.
That's very nice. Very,
Very symbolic.
yeah, symbolic. I
Yeah,
guess that
yeah,
would be the word for it.
yeah.
It's nice
Very deep.
for it to have a meaning behind it versus just, coming up with a
Just
random.
whipping out a name, you know what I mean? Like that has
For sure.
let's be called the silver tripods.
Well,
Okay.
it used to be a solo project, right? It used to actually, before it all started, it actually just used to be Chris Starr, and then it was like, screw this, everyone's putting in their input. This needs an embodiment, and that's where I thought the whole Atoms to Ashes concept.
Well, there you go. To
Has a nice ring to it.
your fan, Raleigh.
I like how you call it A to A. Shortens it up a little bit.
8A. And their merch is pretty awesome. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But we're going to hit up these Instagram questions here.
Yeah.
So the next one was from a fan of yours, Stephen Perkins, 56.
Yeah.
Asked the question, where did all the guys meet?
The well, okay, so a little history lesson on ATA. There's been several versions of ATA, but the current version of ATA, which is myself, Sean Oliver, and Reg, we actually started playing music together I want to say, almost 20 years ago, 17 years ago. We actually had our first ever band together in Reg's basement. And that's where we met. We met by making songs and actually learning to play our very own instruments ourselves. And we kind of drifted apart, and then, as fate would have it, we kind of just came back together in the recent years, and it was like it was meant to be. So there you have it, Stephen.
There you go, Stephen. Right from the mouth of the person you wanted to hear from. Hopefully you are tuned in and you got to hear the answer that because it's great when you have fan members that actually you ask them for questions, knowing that you're going to be doing a live chat session or AKA interview. It's great that they get involved and they want to hear the answers. Plus, I think it's great to let them know that, say their names out there. Let them know that we actually got the questions. We are actually asking the questions. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the interactions when people get involved like that. They take it a step further, and um, like, just to tell you right now, like, people are actually asking us live right now some questions on Instagram, which we're gonna try to get to and hopefully kind of filter in here. But we've actually told fans like when we ask questions, and some people dare to ask, they're like, well, what is your favorite song? And then we write to them, and they're like, wow, you wrote to me. And it's like, of course we wrote to you. Like, like you asked us a question, and it would be, it's we want to answer the fans. We want to connect with them, and they're just, I love it how it's funny because the fans always find it so, like, such a magical moment when we respond to their messages on Instagram or Facebook. But little do they know, we actually find it a magical moment when they write to us and ask us questions and stuff like that too. Like, wow, you're interested in us. It's kind of like that touches us. It's like, okay, cool.
That shit right there is what it's all about, my friend.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what it's all about? Little snippets of songs that are about to come out.
Yeah, it really is. It
Because I
really
have
is.
one more question that I'm going to get to, but
But
only because we had some technical difficulties,
okay.
we're gonna keep moving along, and we're gonna add some more time. Trust me, I'm not gonna cut you off anytime sooner. But how about we do this little snippet, man? Like I've been dying, and I know you want the listeners to hear it too.
I really want to break the silence on this one.
I wonder why. Why don't you go ahead, you intro it, and I'm going to play it. I'm going to bring you right back on after 30 seconds.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, for the first time, a world premiere here on Rock Rage Radio, you are going to hear the upcoming single for Atoms to Ashes called Break the Silence.
Turn it up, folks. Just a little 30-second teaser of what they have coming up for you. Thank you, Chris, for sending that over, man. That's just awesome.
You're absolutely welcome. We are really looking forward to revealing that one in its full entirety to the people. We actually, if people are interested in what they hear, we actually have you can pre-save it if you are on Spotify. You can pre-save it to your library right now. AJ's going to be posting that up soon. So you don't miss it the day it comes out, and you can hear it as soon as it comes out.
Very nice. Thank you, AJ, for doing the back production, doing everything from the NipNyce page, from his neck of the woods, too, because he's admin on my page. He's huge helper, huge supporter, so thank you, AJ.
Killing it. Thanks, AJ.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, Caleb's loving this.
I have to say, on my end, I received some message. I have my Instagram actually open right beside me, and we have actually 4 more questions that came in. I don't know if you want to run through them. I can make maybe this into a condensed format.
Okay, well, if you want to do that, and then I'll get to the last one that we had already known earlier that we wanted to get to. So
okay.
Why don't you hit up and respond to a couple of your fans and listeners on your page, and you have you got the platform, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Nip. So Starkiller at Starkiller666, aka Omar, asks us, "What's your biggest dream as a band?" And this is gonna sound so simple, but I am living it right now. I get to meet such interesting people. My music is heard all around the world. People give us praise. People tell us how much it changes their lives. It helps them through hardship and everything. So you know what? I'm living it large right now. We also have from Alyssa McLaren, who inspired you to make music? Strangely enough, I've always been kind of like partial to music, but it's actually my uncle. He played guitar. He loved playing guitar, blues and stuff. And then I just picked up a guitar and I was like, you know what? I want to do this. And then I listened to Green Day, Offspring, Blink-182, all those bands. I said, I want to sing as well too. And then fast forward 17 years later, you have ATA. Again from Ali, if you could open a show for any artist, who would it be? I'd say Linkin Park. If they ever make a comeback in any kind of way, I would love to do an opening for Linkin Park. It would be my life's fulfillment then and there. And maybe 30 Seconds to Mars, but Linkin Park definitely right up there. So that's it. That's all.
Okay, so that is just wonderful that you have fans chiming in, listening. Hopefully, they're tuned in to Rock Rage Radio and they're hearing all their answers. That would be absolutely wonderful. Tell them to go over and like the Rock Rage Radio page. I hate to
Absolutely.
be cliche, but tell them to follow the NipNyce Facebook page. Tell them to go like my page, man. This is what I do. I help
Totally.
up and coming bands from all over the world.
Totally. We're gonna put your link actually in our bio.
Very
It's in
nice.
bio right now, actually. Yeah. So we're gonna,
And
for the fans that are listening, go and hit up our bio and follow Nip on his Facebook page and wherever you can find him at. He's an awesome guy, helping the indie community.
yeah, man, I totally appreciate that. And let all the listeners know, while we're talking about, social media outlets, this will be done. And we are going to actually post this on my YouTube page. Adam Stash is going to post this video or actually
This interview. Yeah.
I just said the I word. But, man, I said I wasn't going to say
Darn.
chat session. But it will be up on all our social media pages. It's going to be on all our YouTube pages. So to a lot of fans, they have stuff going on, even though it is during COVID. But, a lot of people are back to work. So a lot of people are going to miss it and they're going to want to hear it. So,
you know what the biggest, oh, sorry,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just going to say the biggest difficulty is like in our case, and probably for yours as well too, is that the fan base is so wide worldwide, like literally that like we have fans in South Africa or in France or in England or in Germany, and there's like a 5 to 6 hours difference. They're like it's late for them, So that's also why we're gonna recap it and put it back up on our YouTube because it's like, hey, you get to join the fun as well too. Just like sitting back more like more relaxed. You can fast forward it or rewind it, but it's like, hey, we wanna make it like so you can hear it too.
That is, you couldn't have said that any better right there. Normally I do an advice with NipNyce tonight at 8:00, and we kind of missed that segment. But to be honest with you, everything that you talk about with your band and everything that's going on with music right now, that was enough advice with NipNyce right there because, we both agree on the same spectrum of the music industry of how everybody can help one another. And
Absolutely.
that makes me smile. It makes me want to sit here in front of this computer for hours downloading music, checking out music, setting up my show on a Monday night, and going to shows, introducing bands on stage. I don't just do live radio. I do live. Caleb got to witness it.
Live.
Standing in front of 35,000 people, introducing the last band before Godsmack played. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I would have loved to have introduced Godsmack, but at least I got to eat dinner with them in their VIP time. So, there are certain things that are really, really cool about this industry. It's the way nobody looks down on one another. You do get certain people, but for the most part, everybody is bonded together.
Yeah.
It's a great, great community because everybody is striving for the same goal, to get their music out there, to get it heard. Most bands, they're like, to be honest with you, they don't have them dreams and aspirations of being the next Metallica because they have family lives, they have this, they have that. But they do want to get their music heard. Absolutely. They want to get their message heard. You write these songs, these beautiful, wonderful songs. They deserve to be heard. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what I will always be here for. And thank you for just being here with me today.
An absolute pleasure, Nip. And when you're talking about bands that are saying like that are helping others and they're leading their lives, but they're also doing music on like such a like if you want it to be like it's the most humble journey. It's like I'm just doing it because I want to do it. It's you're absolutely right. Like that's where it's at. That's where their heart's in the right place and they're doing the right thing. It's like, hey, you know what? I do it and it will be what it'll be and it will touch who it needs to touch and change but it's doing what it needs to do and it's just like screw rock stardom and screw being rich and famous. Like it's all about the music, the passion, the love for it, and that's the best way to go about it.
All about the love. You love to make the music, and everybody loves to listen to it.
Exactly.
And find a way to connect with it.
If
Right.
only more people would come together with music than all this nonsense violence going on nowadays.
Mm.
That's a different subject, but it's true. Music does bring so many people together, and it's more of nonviolence. It's more of just love and appreciation for the art of music.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So, Chris,
Yes.
last question, and we're going to get to another song of yours, and then we're going to kind of wrap up our chat session. But I want to get your merch stuff out there, and I want to get your social
Absolutely.
media outlets out there. But first, let's get to this last question because it came from Red Lip Classic. Where do you find your inspiration for creation? Which I'm guessing they mean the creation of your music. I'm guessing. I don't know. That's what I took from it.
In all around, it really, it's example. Let's take it for example. Break the silence. Um, I was just one day. I was just messing around on Twitter or seeing like on TV, and it seemed like that whole day I was just looking at things and just seeing violence and violence and violence and violence. And I was like, you know what? I've had enough of all this violence. You know, it's time to break the. Oh, wait a second. That is a hook, line, and sinker. That is a song right away. I kid you not. I ran to my car and I had to belt out the chorus into my phone for like an audio recording just to remember it. To be like, I'm gonna work on this later. And often it comes out of these strides like that. It's like through hardships or through things that are just like it. For me, it's like it needs to be discussed, either personal or a social issue or something like that, or sometimes I have to talk about it in third person or in first person, but it's when there becomes a need to talk about something and it's just like, all right, here we go, and it just all flows out. So sometimes it'll start with a lyric or like a line for a chorus. Sometimes it'll start with a riff, or sometimes it'll start with like a synthesizer or something. But there's something that inside dawns the need to do it, and then it just after that it flows out because the emotion and the intention is there, and it's pure, and it's just like it's powerful.
It just I love the fact that you said you had to belt it out a couple of times just to record it. It is so something that it just hits home. I'm not a singer by any means. You hear my deep voice. Maybe I could be a country singer, like "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot," and something like that. But I'm not a singer. But I do write a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had a band. I gave them lyrics of this little poem that I wrote, and they actually made a song for me. I gave it to a band, and they did it justice,
That's
man. They wrote a
awesome.
song for me, man. It was awesome. I couldn't do it myself, but I knew it was words of. It was just such a great song. So
Yeah.
that's something I'm not going to talk about here because this is your platform. But no, seriously, like when it comes to lyrics, we all as individuals, we think all the time. You lay in bed
Yes.
and you can't fall asleep. All these things that go through your mind, but I got to give credit where credit's due. You guys are geniuses in that aspect that you can turn those couple little thoughts into these amazing songs. And that's one thing I love about musicians, man. Just, you come up with lyrics. You got another guy, I know you play lead guitar as well. But then you have a bassist. He's got to come up with his own riffs. You got a drummer. He's got to come up with his damn crazy beats to fit the format, to make the song, in my mind, like music alone is just unbelievable. If you think about the process of how a song is,
Not easy.
It's something.
it is something. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
But when it works, woo!
Yes, it
Oh, it's
does.
magic. It's absolute magic. And thank you so much for that. That it's a compliment, and I take where compliments are. When they come at me, it's thank you so much. It means a lot to hear when we're told it's like, hey, your lyrics really like they resonate with me. They really like when I hear them, they give me chills, or and stuff like that too. And it's just like when you said like genius is like wow, like when you say genius, I'm like up there with Beethoven, like with Bach, like Mozart. It's like wow, those guys were the true geniuses. But it's like thank you, man. Like that means
But
a lot.
it does. But
It's,
I seriously put all musicians that create some of this wonderful music on that same spectrum. I really do because You know, there's so many.
It's all about the time.
It's unbelievable how you can still create great music right now with all the music that's already been out there in front of you, but to be original and to create your own and still make it unique. That's genius to me. It really is, in my mind. And I've been in radio for going on 7 years now, and I still hear things to this day where I pick out, like, don't get me wrong, I am very critical with music because I've listened to so many good bands, so many bad bands. It's amazing how people just try to come up with their own things, and sometimes it works extremely well, sometimes it doesn't. You guys are doing extremely well.
Oh,
Well, thank you very much. That means a lot to us.
Speaking of doing it extremely well, let's talk about this next song, Like a Bullet.
Oh yes, that one is for people who've been following us for a while. It's kind of feels like a breath of fresh air. The off of the new album, Like a Bullet. It does sound like some of our old stuff, but it also has a lot of new tones to it. You know, definitely new grittiness and stuff. And it was also a turning point, I think, like for me, like lyrically and also personally. It was a turning point to be like, you know, the song is literally came at a time where it was like, do I keep going? You know, and I only know one way to respond to that, and that is like kick down the door and just keep going, and whatever it will be, and head first like a bullet. And it was like, you know what? That's gonna be a song. And there you have it. It was like as simple as that. It's like, all right, no more messing around. Yeah, things have happened and things are not going exactly as I thought they would, but you know, it doesn't matter. I'm doing what I want to do, and I might be worried sometimes, but you got to keep on charging. You got to keep on going.
Well, there you go. Got to keep on going.
You
And
got
the
to keep on
song is
trucking.
Keep on Trucking. Get her done.
You're done.
Anyway, the song is Like a Bullet. The band Adams to Ashes. We got Chris live on the line with us. We are going to play this song. I want you to check it out. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to let Chris talk about his social media pages. We're going to let him talk about his merch. And we're going to end you with a little softer side of Adams to Ashes. You know, we kind of started strong, finished a little on the softer side. Everything is emotional. Everything is on point, and everything has some kind of meaning whatsoever. So, without further ado, you're tuned in to No Nonsense with NipNyce right here on Rock Rage Radio, live with Chris Starr from Adams to Ashes. The song is called Like a Bullet. Turn it up. There was Like a Bullet from the band Adams to Ashes. You like that song, Caleb?
Oh, yeah.
No. What do you do when you like a song? Yeah, I was waiting for that. What's
That
up,
was
Chris? I
cute.
got Chris Starr. No, please don't follow suit and do the meowing.
I won't. I
That's
promise.
that's my cat call.
I know when he's here because I hear this meowing coming down my driveway when he shows up. Or he just walks in my house like he lives here, and I just hear this meow. So anyway, that was a great song, man.
Oh, yeah.
We're really proud of that. We're proud of all of them, really, but that one really, when we said, hey, we're gonna do a video clip for that one, which you guys can go check out on our YouTube channel. We said, you know what, this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. It was absolutely wonderful to have you on air tonight, live here on the radio show. I know last week we got to talk. Figured we'd sit down, we would do a Facebook live video chat, you know, just to try to work out all the kinks, you know, but it's hard to do it because I only broadcast live once a week, but we made it work, man, and
We did.
it was amazing that we were on the phone for I looked at my screen time, it was an hour and 45 minutes. We were just going to like hash over a couple things. Next thing you know, me and Chris and AJ sat and talked for an hour and 45 minutes. It was
Just flew by.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nothing. And we're like, all right, guys, we should all go and do stuff.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I got things to do. I mean, I don't want to anymore, but I do.
Yeah. I got to cut grass. I got to do this. But no, it was great. And, you know,
It was.
the relationships like this that I get to build with some of these band members, the odds of me ever getting to see you perform live, honestly, are probably slim and none. But it's on my bucket list because you're from Montreal, Canada.
You can change those odds.
If I can ever get you down here on the East Coast in Pennsylvania, I work with a lot of venues on the East Coast here. I would love for you guys to get down here.
If you play
And we would
cards
love to
right,
absolutely go down there, just rock some faces, meet some people, and just
awesome.
introduce ourselves also like in person to the American market. Like let's be honest, it's just like, hey, we're Atoms to Ashes, it's like, let's do this.
Oh, I thought you just meant because you wanted to give me a handshake and a hug.
Absolutely. Don't, come on.
No, I was just messing with you, man, because I was going to say, one of my favorite things to do when I meet bands that I've gotten to play on my radio show, and I go to some festivals and I get to go backstage, or I meet them out in the regular public area, and they come up and they're like, dude, you're Nip, man, you play my music. And it's a handshake and a hug, and it's just that moment where you're like, you know what? This is what it's all about, man. This is exactly why I do what I do.
See, me, it's the opposite. It'll be like, oh, this is Nip. This is the guy that he made me famous. No, absolutely. I mean, for sure. I was telling AJ before, like, it was like, whenever we can make it down there, you and AJ are the first to know, to like right away. And it's just like, we can't wait. Like, I think like a lot of bands are in our position, but we just can't wait to get back out and be like, hey, let's go tear up some stages and let's meet some people and let's rock it out. And like, this interview is making me even want it more. It's like, wow, this is so much fun. Like, can we do this in person? Can we do this live? It would be so much fun.
Hey, it gets the hype up. It gets you ready, man, and that's the best part of it.
Absolutely.
Well, let's keep moving forward here with, tell everybody. I know you got a bunch of social media pages. Let people know, where can they find your music? How can they find you on social media? Like, give them your links to Instagram, Facebook. They pretty much know your Facebook, but you got the platform. So if you have all that in front of you, man,
absolutely,
please let the listeners know how to find you, your music, and then I want you to go right from that into talk about your merch a little bit, man.
Well, if you like what you heard tonight, which I know quite a few people have been writing to us, letting us know, like, hey, where can we find everything? If you like what you heard tonight, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer for the music, YouTube, Tidal. We're everywhere. You listen to music anywhere, we're on it. You can find us there. If you want to find us on social media, it's super simple. It's always Atoms to Ashes. So Facebook, Atoms to Ashes. Instagram, it's at Atoms to Ashes. YouTube, Atoms to Ashes. Always ATOMSTOASHES. You will write that down in Google. You will find us on Twitter, anywhere. Write that down and you will find us. And we can't wait to actually meet you on our pages and say, hey, like, what's up? Welcome to our page. Thank you for following us. Thank you for listening to our music. Drop us a line. Tell us what you think of our band. Tell us what you think of our merch. Give us a like and everything. And that's it.
That's it. All the pages right there for you in one shot.
Like everything.
Yeah. Go like
it all.
Page they have. Let's talk about your merch, man. You got some pretty cool new hats out, man.
My pride and joy, these hats. I love them. I'm actually wearing mine right now. I almost sleep with it.
I got
shameless
my passport,
promo,
man. I don't know if I'm allowed in Canada, but I can meet you at the border.
Sure, no problem. I'll throw it over.
It would get here quicker than mailing it right now.
Maybe
I'll
see you in 6 hours. Yeah, we have
there in 6 hours.
Absolutely. Pedal to the floor. I'll see you at the border.
Yeah, all right. No, seriously, man. Tell us about your merch. I know you got T-shirts, you got buttons, you got these new hats, you got a bunch of great new stuff, man.
Absolutely. The hats are our latest edition, and they're just awesome. They're the flat brim with embroidery. It's ATA established 2013. We call them the Legacy Snapback. They're amazing. AJ is going to be putting up pictures in a bit. We have our classic tees, Atoms to Ashes logo on a white tee or a black tee. We have We have every size possible. We also have an album which comprises our first EP and our second EP. So we call it just Atoms to Ashes generic album. We have pins, we have posters, and we have stickers too. All branded Atoms to Ashes. You will look cool having them. And also, I'm just, I like teasing, right? We did Break the Silence before, we did we made it like we slipped it in nice and easy. Well, we also have more merch along the way. I don't want to give it away too much, but we got some new T-shirts, maybe for some Heartless fans, and maybe for some Legacy Hat fans who might have a hoodie on the way. Who knows? You got to stay tuned. You got to follow us on social media if you want
There
to
you
find
go.
out more.
Well, to all my listeners out there that love and tune into my radio show, do me a favor. If you got a couple bucks, man, make sure you go check out their social media pages. These hats are pretty awesome, man. I was checking them out, and the hats are awesome. All their swag is great, man. And we're all social distancing. They're from Canada. I have listeners from Sweden, Italy, Ukraine, you name it, man. I look at my listener account, and hey, you can order it too. It doesn't matter where you're from.
Worldwide.
And you know what? Speaking
Order
of
something.
worldwide, we ship worldwide. You said Germany, Sweden, Italy. We ship everywhere. No matter
That's
what. You
great.
got a question? DM us on one of our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, whatnot, anywhere. DM us, the direct message. I'm using the cool kid terms. Just write to us, and we will send it to you wherever you are. We've sent merch all the way up to South Africa so far. That's the furthest place in the world where we sent it to. I can't wait to send something to Australia.
Better send worldwide because you got fans worldwide right there.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's great to hear that you ship worldwide, and you got a lot of great merch out there. Anything that
Thanks.
somebody could buy right now is just going to help them put a little bit of money in their pocket to refuel that touring van that they have, or their own personal car, and they pack it all in. Hey, we
Or
know
more
how it
songs.
works, man. As indie
Yeah.
bands and independent bands, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of dedication, and
Blood, sweat, and tears.
it is. And every penny helps them, because they can't rely on, their 45 cents they're going to get from, streaming or whatever. No lie. I'm
That's
just being
generous.
dead honest.
It's,
But
it's a make out too, though.
it's the honest to God truth. Your your royalties that you get, if you get $45, you got to split that 3 ways. That's tough. That's hard to live off of. So
It's a
but I
tough
know
gig, but
merch,
good thing we do it for the love.
yep, merch goes a long way though. Merch really does help you continue to. It lets you buy more merch and get more
Exactly.
merch made, and
Makes up for the
so it really doesn't
opportunity.
even give you a profit anyway
The-
because you
my-
just buy more merch. But hey, that's the beauty of what you do.
But in all
And,
honesty, my happiest moment when we get someone who asks us, hey, like, where can I buy your merch? And we tell them and they buy a piece of merch, it's not so much selling the merch, it's I'm sending my album to Germany, or I'm sending a T-shirt to South Africa, or I'm sending, a hat to the UK. Like, that's the most fun. It's like, screw the profit or anything like that. It's like, man, I have ATA gear in somewhere in the world where hopefully I have the chance to do a show there one day. But if I don't, man, it's there. It's kind of like it's our legacy. It just, it goes around the world and it's great.
it's beautiful.
That's awesome.
It is.
Gives you a real good sense of pride right there.
Exactly.
Makes everything you do somewhat worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just adds on,
All right,
It adds
Chris,
to that list.
it does. You know what? It's just been it's been such a pleasure to sit here and chat with you for
Likewise,
the last
man.
hour and get your music heard to the masses out here on Rock Rage Radio. And I'm glad to be doing it here on No Nonsense with NipNyce. Thank you, AJ. I know you're tuned in. You're in the background.
Thank you,
Caleb.
AJ.
Thank you, everybody that has been a part of helping get this set up and helping do this interview and helping a great, great band. They have so much more to offer. So I want the listeners to know if you can help in any way and if you like their music, everything has been tagged over on the NipNyce Facebook page. They are doing their best to post everything they can over on their Instagram pages. Things will be up. This interview actually will be up on YouTube here. I don't know when, but it'll be up soon.
But you'll know.
I'm going to ask them to send it to me so I can post it on my YouTube page as well. You know, everything helps build the publicity and helps them grow and grow and grow. So, Chris Starr, thank you very much for being live on air with me tonight.
Hey,
Was an
we look forward to
absolute pleasure.
hearing the rest of that song too. Yet
Oh yeah, you will be the first to know.
we
You guys
we'll
will be the
forget
first to
about
know.
it.
Oh no.
Oh, I'll debut it, man. Trust me.
And I just want to take the time to say a really big special thanks to AJ. AJ's been following us forever, since 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, he's the one who got you in contact with us. And, you know, as you can see, it's been just a great bond. It's a great time. But thank you so much, AJ, for also helping bring this all together. This has been such a great experience.
Hey Joe,
Yeah,
AJ?
give it up to AJ, man.
I appreciate
Right.
it, buddy.
The man, the legend.
He is. He's a huge help, not just with your band. He is a huge help on my radio show. You know, there's a lot more involved than people know when it comes to doing live radio. Live radio is tough. You know,
Absolutely.
a lot of people can sit there and pre-record a show. And this interview we just did, all the technical difficulties, they get edited out. You know, and you do it 10 times. But you know what? We did it live on air. We have a huge audience tuned in right now, just so you know.
It is what it is.
So it is great, you know, just for that aspect of it. This is why I love doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely. That's what it needs to be all about. Always the pure feeling of it all.
So we're gonna end with the song, and I'm gonna just let you know we're gonna end your song, and I'm gonna have you intro it, and then when we're done, stay on the line with me, okay? Just for
Absolutely.
a quick minute, all right? But we're going to end with the song, Feels Like Home.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to let you talk about it. Just want you to tell the listeners what they're listening to, sign yourself off, and then I'm going to hit the play button, and then we're going to chat, and I'll continue my show. But thank you so much for being
Thank
live
you.
on the
It's
air
been
with you.
such a pleasure. Yeah.
You got the platform to intro the song, say whatever you want to say to finish off your live chat session with NipNyce here and Caleb, and I will talk to you soon.
Hey, appreciate it, buddy.
It's been so much fun, guys.
All right,
This
here
last
you
song
go.
is thank
It's your
you.
turn.
This last song is called Feels Like Home. It's our latest installment on the upcoming EP called Blackburn. This is a song that it's I'm not shy to say that it's close to home. You know, it's something about, you know, when you're in a struggle and you don't know if you should stay or you should go, and you ask yourself, maybe it's worth it or maybe it's not, and it's an inner struggle that has you guessing at every turn, and all in all, you know, it makes you really feel like, okay, like, you know, you're in a comfort zone and you stay there even if it's not something that you're sure with, but it feels like home. And as simple as that, that's where it is. And I think you can feel it all the way through everything, through the arrangement, through the vocals, and through the strings, because yeah, it was recorded just as it felt. It was felt very strongly, and I was really, really happy that we were able to portray and capture all that emotion in those takes that we did it. So here it is, Feels Like Home. Enjoy, guys. It was a pleasure. Had an awesome time with you guys. Can't wait to do this again. And peace. Thank you so much, everyone. AJ and crew, you guys rock.